Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So it's storming pretty hard outside, so I have the garage door closed, but that means that the temps cooled off a bit, and I actually also have the door open to the house, which is nice and AC'd, so I've got some cool air blowing in. It feels pretty pleasant in the garage right now. Anyway, today I've got the Chimera intake for the 2022 Honda Grom. I think City Garage is the first production intake for the 2022 Grom to come to market, and I'm really excited to get it on the bike. Actually, and I think just yesterday it is on their website, so you can purchase this now. But they sent me this to try out. The intake on this actually comes out slightly underneath the right fairing, so the air filter element is nice and exposed to cold air. As an option, I picked up the 50mm K&N air filter to go along with this. So I believe the process will just be a matter of taking off the right and left fairings, pulling out the airbox, and bolting this up. The kit comes with the intake pipe, an extension for the IAT sensor, and the rubber coupling that will mount the pipe to the intake manifold. And it has cool Chimera writing on it. It also has this nice flat black finish that will perfectly match this bike. And one more thing I wanted to point out before I get started. So far, the only performance modification I had made was the full Yoshimura exhaust system that I have on the bike. And for that, you don't really need to do any tuning. I did show in an earlier video how to reset the ECU if you wanted to clear the baseline of the stock ECU so that it could more quickly learn the new flow from that exhaust. Not essential, but something that you can do. With the intake though, you are bringing a lot more air into the system, and probably won't run as well with the stock ECU, probably will start running a lot leaner. So I did buy the A-Racer RC Mini 5. I have the same one in the 2019 Monkey. It's actually a different engine control management system than it was in the previous model. The connecting pins look slightly different, and it specifically says for the MSX 125 2021. 2021 being when it came out in other countries like Asia where the A-Racer is built. So I'm not going to install it in this video. I'll do it in a future video, but if you are doing an intake and exhaust, it is recommended that you do something else to better control the air and fuel mixtures in the bike. Just using a 4mm Allen wrench. And actually, I take that back. I don't remember what the original Allen bolt was that came on the bike. For the Chimera washers that I have, it's now a 4mm bolt. I think it may have been a 5 or a 6 on the stock one. So I'm not exactly sure which part removes. There's 2 screws right here. I'll try taking these out. Little stubby screwdriver makes getting that out a lot easier. And I don't think there are any other clips. I see some push clips here, but I think that's for a different panel. All right, and that's it. So it's on this side, now that I can see what I was doing, so those 2 screws did need to come out. Those were holding the front part. And there were 2 pins down on the side, and that was it. And then this is the stock airbox. It looks like there's a screw here that may just be supporting this part of the fairing. And it looks like there's a bolt here holding it. And I believe there's the same on the other side. So let me take off the left-hand fairing and make sure that it's the same. And then it may be as easy as pulling these off. All right, and then here on the reverse side of the bike, I have this fairing off. It came off the exact same way. Looks like there's a bolt up here that's holding the airbox, and there's a couple of screws holding this kind of inner fender to the airbox. So I'll pull off these 2 screws, and I think actually there's one more screw down here, and I think I'll be able to move it out of the way because I don't want to take off this. I don't think I need to take off this entire panel to take off these couple of bolts to pull the airbox off. So there's just an M10. And grab this same one on the reverse side. And so right here, there's a screw that's holding a clamp that's securing the rubber intake pipe. Seems to be Loctited pretty well. It's a Phillips. There's one more hose back here, the air hose. That starts here and goes into it. So that needs to come off first and then it should come out. All right, one more thing. Here on the left side of the bike, you can see through this panel, this IAT sensor needs to be popped off. All right, so stock air box is off. It's not particularly heavy. It's definitely gonna save a little bit of weight, but it definitely is big and bulky. And then right here, let me move this hose. Here is the intake manifold, and it is shooting just straight back towards the bike. So it needs a pretty aggressive turn to get out from hitting the frame. Installation for this though should be pretty simple. Just the coupling to the intake manifold, to the pipe, the filter on the pipe itself, and securing everything down. Additionally, you're gonna have to take the IAT sensor off of the stock air box. It just has these two Phillips screws. Pull it off and replace it here on the new pipe. It comes with stainless steel hardware to secure it. So don't reuse, these screws are threaded for plastic. Use the bolts that come with the kit to get the IAT sensor on. And then the kit also has the extension because now this sensor is gonna be on the other side of the bike. So you use the extension into the existing IAT sensor, then to the OEM harness so that that can be connected up and you won't get any check engine lights. All right, I've got the K&N 50mm air filter on the intake pipe. I've got the IAT sensor and provided extension cable hooked up, as well as the rubber coupling to connect it to the manifold. So let me go ahead and just slip this on and get everything buttoned up. And the air tube that was connected to the factory box connects to the nipple here, so I'll get that on first. And actually, since it's a tighter fit here with the clearance of this throttle cable, I'm gonna take the coupling off and put it onto the throttle body first and the pipe second. All right, so that took a bit of finagling, but it did fit, and I think it was a better method to put the coupler onto the throttle body first and then keep working this until I was able to slip it into the other side of the coupler. All of the clearances though are very tight. I mean, there's less than a few millimeters of space before it hits the frame here, but it all seems to fit perfectly. So I'm gonna put it up about as high as I can, which is right around here before the IAT sensor hits the throttle body. I'm gonna connect up the other side of the IAT to the factory harness, and that should be it. Okay, I got the garage door back open. Like all storms here in Florida, they pass by pretty quickly, but really happy with how easy that went on the bike. It looks awesome. I like the angle again. I'm big on angles if you haven't picked up on that, but the line here of the fairing comes pretty parallel with the air intake, and I think it looks great. Again, I'm gonna put on the A-Racer RC Mini 5 and get this tuned, but let me go ahead and start it up and see if it sounds any different. I can hear the air coming from the filter a little more throatier, but again, I'm going to do the installation of the A-Racer first, and I'm also going to use the AF1 wideband sensor off of the Monkey. Since the Monkey's pretty well tuned, everything's running well on that bike, I'm going to pull it off borrowed on this bike so that I can do some auto tuning and get this running really well. Anyway, thank you very much to Steady Garage for sending me this new Chimera intake for the 2022. Again, they I think are the first to market, at least with a production unit, and installation, fitment, and finish is fantastic. So I'll put a link in the description below to this product because it is already up on their website. Thank you everybody for watching. Please subscribe, stay tuned for more videos, and keep on building.